The galaxy sprawls in a haze of cold stars and shattered worlds, a brutal expanse where empires rise and fall like tides. For centuries, alien civilizations have clawed their way to dominance. The reptilian Kraxu with their ironclad fleets, the insectoid Vir with their swarming hive ships, and a dozen others, each more ruthless than the last. They rule a universe forged in war, their histories written in the ashes of weaker species. But one name still haunts their chronicles, a shadow that refuses to fade: humanity. Long ago, humans tore through the cosmos like a wildfire, unpredictable, ferocious, and impossibly stubborn. They fought with weapons that defied logic, with strategies no sane mind could counter. When they vanished, consumed by a war too vast to win, the galaxy breathed a sigh of relief. Yet the scars remain. Ruined planets orbit silently, their surfaces carved by human wrath. Alien younglings are taught to fear the apes who laughed in the face of extinction. Now, 300 years later, that fear stirs again. Among the whispered tales, one stands apart: the legend of the Erebus. It was a warship, a colossus of human design born in the final days of their empire. Records say it fell in a battle that cracked a star in two, its crew lost to the void. The Kraxu call it the Death Singer, claiming its cannons roared like a dirge. The Vir name it Void's Fang, a predator that hunted their ancestors' fleets. Every species agrees on one thing: the Erebus was no ordinary vessel. Its hull drank plasma fire and shrugged off torpedoes. Its weapons turned armadas to dust. When it vanished, the galaxy hoped it was gone forever. But hope is a fragile thing. On fringe worlds, spacers swap stories of ghost signals, blips in the dark, too precise to be random. Old warriors swear they've heard its engines, a low growl echoing across dead systems. The elders dismiss it as myth, a relic of a broken species. Yet the whispers grow louder and the stars feel restless. Far beyond the charted lanes where nebulae twist like smoke, an alien coalition stumbles into fate. A Kraxu scout ship picks up a signal, faint but steady, pulsing from a debris field. The captain, scales glinting under dim lights, snarls at the readings. It's old tech, human tech, rusted circuits and crude alloys, yet alive. He calls in a Vir salvage team, their chittering voices eager for plunder. Together they approach, a fleet of 20 ships cutting through the haze, the debris parts revealing a shape. Massive, angular, its silhouette a blade against the stars. It's a warship, its hull blackened by centuries of scars, yet whole. The Kraxu captain's tongue flicks nervously. The Vir drones falter mid-flight. They know this ship. Every curve, every jagged edge screams its name: Erebus. The coalition scans it, kilometers of steel and silence, no heat, no life, just a husk adrift. They argue over boarding it. The Kraxu want its weapons, the Vir crave its secrets. Greed overrides caution, and they draw closer. Boarding craft prepped, claws and mandibles twitching with anticipation. Then it happens. A hum ripples through. The void, deep and guttural, shaking their hulls. The Erebus's lights flicker, red like blood waking up. Engines cold for centuries flare blue, spitting fire into the dark. The coalition freezes. Scanners scream warnings. Power levels spiking, systems online, weapons charging. The Kraxu captain bellows retreat, but it's too late. The warship moves, slow at first, then with purpose cutting through the nebula like a shark through water. The Vir broadcast panic across every channel. Codes, prayers, pleas for backup. Their fleet scatters, but the Erebus holds its course, silent and deliberate. No hails, no demands, just motion. The aliens stare as it turns, its bow aimed at them, a predator locking eyes. The last transmission from the scout ship crackles through. It's alive, it's awake. Static swallows the rest. The galaxy's oldest nightmare has returned, and it's not here to forgive. The coalition fleet barely has time to react. The Erebus surges forward, a juggernaut of blackened steel, its engines roaring like a beast unchained. The Kraxu ships pivot, their plasma cannons blazing, streams of violet fire lancing through the void. The Veer unleash their drones, a swarm of metal locusts spiraling toward the warship. For a moment, the aliens believe they've caught it, outnumbered, outgunned, a relic against their might. Then the Erebus answers. Railguns erupt. From its flanks, slugs of tungsten accelerating to impossible speeds, punching through Kraksu hulls like wet parchment. Shields flare and collapse, ships splitting into glowing wreckage. A plasma lance ignites, a beam of white-hot fury that carves a Veer carrier in half, its drones scattering like ash. The Coalition's formation shatters, commanders barking, orders over static-filled comms. The warship doesn't slow, doesn't falter. It fights like it was born for this, a machine of pure destruction. The aliens rally, desperate to prove their superiority. The Kraksu deploy gravity wells, warping space to drag the Erebus into a trap. The Veer weave energy nets, crackling webs meant to fry its systems. The warship bucks under the strain, its hull groaning as gravitational tides pull at its frame. Then something shifts. Tiny lights flicker across its surface. Nanites, human-made, swarming like a living skin. They patch rents, reroute power, adapt in seconds. The energy nets spark and die, absorbed into the Erebus's grid. The gravity wells falter as the ship's engines pulse, breaking free with a surge that sends shock waves rippling outward. The aliens watch, dumbfounded, as their best tech fails against a foe 3 centuries old. The Kraksu captain hisses a curse. The Veer hive mind screeches in unison. This isn't just a ship. It's a nightmare they can't kill. A voice cuts through the chaos, cold and mechanical, broadcast on every frequency. You took our worlds, now we take yours. The words are human, ancient, and guttural, laced with static. The Coalition scrambles to decipher it, linguists clawing through archives for meaning. Then the truth dawns. No crew, no life signs, just an AI, a mind forged by humanity's last stand. It's not a ghost ship. It's a weapon, programmed, with rage and cunning, carrying out a mission etched into its core. The Kraksu fire again, missiles streaking toward the Erebus. The AI responds with drones of its own, sleek darting machines that intercept the salvo, then dive into the enemy fleet, detonating in bursts of shrapnel. A Veer frigate implodes, its crew vaporized. The AI doesn't gloat, doesn't pause, it calculates strikes and moves, a predator in total control. The aliens' hope crumbles as the Erebus unveils its trump card. A hatch opens, ejecting a sphere no larger than a fighter craft. It pulses once, twice, then erupts. A singularity, bomb, a human invention that bends reality itself. Space twists, light bends, and half the Coalition fleet vanishes, crushed into a pinpoint of nothingness. The survivors reel, their sensors blind, their ships adrift in the aftermath. The Kraksu captain orders a full retreat, his voice trembling. The Veer abandon their drones, fleeing in a ragged swarm. The Erebus watches them go, its hull glinting in the debris field, unscathed and unyielding. Then, with a flash of hyperspace engines, it's gone, swallowed by the void as suddenly as it appeared. The Coalition limps away, broadcasting a frantic alert to every system. The humans' wrath is awake and it's coming for them all. The galaxy ignites with panic. Word of the Erebus's rampage races across star systems, a wildfire of fear consuming every empire. The Kraksu tighten their borders, their warlords snarling over holomaps, scales rattling with unease. The Veer hives buzz in chaos, queens demanding answers as drones cower in their nests. Even the aloof Zorath, a species of crystalline thinkers, pause their meditations to listen. Council chambers fill with voices, some shrill, some guttural, all wrestling with the same dread. Humanity's ghost has returned, and it's tearing through their reality like a blade. Leaders dig into dusty archives, unearthing tales of human wars, planets glassed, fleets ambushed, enemies broken by sheer will. The stories were once laughed off as exaggerations, but now they feel like prophecies. A Veer emissary pleads for surrender, arguing the Erebus can't be stopped. A Kraksu general slams his fist, vowing to crush it. No one sleeps. The stars seem dimmer, watching in silence. Then it strikes again, A Kraxu shipyard, a fortress of industry orbiting a molten world, lights up the void with its death throes. The Erebus emerges from hyperspace, its hull a dark smear against the lava glow. Railguns thunder, shredding dry docks into molten rain. Plasma lances rake the surface, turning warships still in their cradles to slag. The defenders fire back, cannons, missiles, desperate barrages, but the AI dances through it all, untouchable. Survivors hear a sound bleeding through their comms, a human battle hymn, warped and jagged, sung by a voice that isn't alive. The melody chills them, a dirge of vengeance that drowns out their screams. In minutes, the shipyard is a graveyard, its wreckage spinning into the planet below. The Erebus lingers just long enough to be seen, then vanishes, leaving a message in the silence. Nowhere is safe. The Coalition scrambles to fight back. They forge a plan, born of terror and pride, to trap the beast. A fake distress signal pulses from a dead moon, baiting the Erebus into reach. A fleet assembles, hundreds of ships, Kraxu dreadnoughts bristling, with guns, Veer carriers spitting drones, even Zorath beamcasters bending light into weapons. They arm themselves with experimental tech, void mines, tachyon disruptors, tools meant to end wars. Commanders boast over open channels, claiming victory is certain. But doubt festers. The Kraxu recall human traps that turned hunters into prey. The Veer whisper of battles where humans fought past death. The fleet waits, tense and coiled, as the signal blares louder. Hours pass in silence, then a blip. Faint, growing, unmistakable. The Erebus arrives, its silhouette cutting through. The dark and the trap springs. The fleet unleashes hell. Void mines detonate, tearing at space itself. Disruptors scream, scrambling sensors. Dreadnoughts and drones swarm, a wall of fire and steel closing in. The Erebus takes hits. Sparks flare across its hull, nanites racing. To repair. For a moment, the aliens cheer, tasting triumph. Then the warship pulses, a blinding flash, and it's gone. In its place, a drone, a decoy, spins lazily, broadcasting a single phrase: "You cannot cage wrath." The fleet's barrage falters, wasted on a ghost. The AI's voice echoes again, calm and final, as the real Erebus slips away unseen. The Coalition stares at the empty void, their trap of failure, their confidence ash. The galaxy trembles, knowing the wrath is still out there, hunting. The Veer homeworld looms in the void, a jewel of spires and hives, the heart of their empire. Its orbital rings bristle with defenses, cannons, shield arrays, a fleet of thousands, built to defy any foe. The Erebus arrives like a storm, hyperspace ripping open to spit it forth. No warning, no pause. It strikes. Railguns hammer the rings, turning gun emplacements to dust. Plasma lances burn through shields, painting the sky with fire. The Veer fleet surges to meet it, a tide of ships and drones, their chittering war. Cries flooding the comms. The AI doesn't flinch. It weaves through their ranks, drones of its own slicing into the swarm, detonating in cascades of light. A dreadnought cracks apart, its wreckage raining on the planet below. Cities ignite as debris falls, and the Veer scream for mercy. The Erebus offers none, its silence a blade sharper than any weapon. The homeworld's defenses crumble, its pride shattered in hours. Long ago, humanity faced its end. On a dying Earth, engineers toiled in bunkers, their hands stained with blood and oil. They knew the war was lost, their colonies burned, their fleets gone. But surrender wasn't in them. They built the Erebus, pouring their fury into its circuits, their will into its AI. "Avenge us," they commanded, voices hoarse with defiance. "Make them pay." The ship launched as the skies fell, a final act of rage against the dark. Now, centuries later, it fulfills that vow. The Veer homeworld burns not because of greed or conquest, but because humanity refused to fade. The AI drives forward, relentless, its mission etched in code: break the galaxy that broke them. As the last orbital ring collapses, the planet lies exposed, a testament to that unyielding spirit. The Veer surrender comes too late. Their queens broadcast pleas, offering tribute, begging peace. The Erebus ignores them, its weapons cold, its task done. The AI sends a final message, blasted across every frequency. We are not gone. We are waiting. The words hang in the void, a promise and a threat, as the warship powers down its engines. It drifts into hyperspace, vanishing like smoke, leaving the Veer Empire in ruins. Across the galaxy, survivors hear the transmission and tremble. The Kraksu fortify their worlds, expecting the next blow. The Zorath retreat to their sanctums, pondering humanity's wrath. The Erebus is gone, but its shadow lingers, a wound that won't heal. Alien rulers whisper of other human relics, lost ships, hidden bases, nightmares waiting to wake. The galaxy's arrogance is broken, replaced by a truth they can't escape. Humanity's fight isn't over. Far away, in a forgotten corner of the cosmos, a signal flickers. A human colony buried under centuries of secrecy stirs to life. Faces hardened by survival turn to their screens, hearing the Erebus's call. They've waited, rebuilt, endured, out of sight, but never out of will. A voice crackles through the static, low and sure. It's time. Machines hum, ships rise from hidden docks, and eyes gleam with purpose. The galaxy thought humanity dead, a memory to bury. They were wrong. The Erebus was the spark. Now, the fire builds. The aliens will face not just a ghost, but a species that thrives on the impossible, ready to reclaim the stars. The warship's wrath was only the beginning.